6 Nigerian law school students abducted by a suspected gunman while traveling from Anambra State to Adamawa State. On the foreign scene, Israel to halt military operations in parts of Gaza to allow new aid corridors, following images of hungry Palestinians. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Okpayamuni. A boat carrying 39 passengers have capsized in Shiro local government area of Niger State, killing at least 13 individuals. Confirming the incident, the Niger State Emergency Management Agency said 26 people were successfully rescued. The incident occurred in the Guno community as passengers were en route to the Kwata Zumba weekly market. The boat was reportedly overloaded with farm produce and passengers, mainly traders. In a statement, the agency's Deputy Public Relations Officer, Malik Baba Sulaiman, said the dead victims have been buried according to Islamic rite. He said the agency's search and rescue operation, which began immediately after the incident, led to the recovery of all 13 bodies. Earlier, the traditional head of Zumba, Sarakin Ruwa Umar Isa, disclosed that among the dead was a single family of 10, while another family reported that 5 of their members were missing. In the meantime, several residents, particularly children, have been declared missing following more than 6 hours of heavy rainfall in parts of Adamawa State. According to reports, over 600 houses were washed away and some residents narrowly escaped disaster. In a statement, Adamawa State Police spokesman Sulaiman Nguroje said that trained marine police officers and personnel had been deployed to the flooded areas for rescue operation. Although exact figures are yet to be confirmed, unverified accounts indicated that several people lost their lives, with children said to be among the primary victims. Last week, the Executive Secretary of the Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency, Celine Lowry, issued a warning to residents in lowland areas to relocate to higher ground, citing predictions that flooding could begin this month. In Osun State, Peter Samuel Tope, a 35-year-old operative of the Osun Amotekun Corps, has allegedly died as a result of an attack allegedly carried out by recently enlisted personnel of the Nigerian Army. In a statement, the Osun Amotekun Corps Commander Isaac Omoyele said the incident occurred in Oriade local government area yesterday. He said the suspect, identified as Okwejobi Finfolua, and a group of unidentified accomplices had stabbed the victim, who was on a motorcycle. Mr. Omoyele noted that without provocation, the attackers pounced on the Amotekun operative, with Finfolua allegedly striking Tokwe with a blunt object on the head, causing him to fall and sustain critical injuries. The Amotekun Corps pledged full cooperation with police and military authorities to investigate the incident. In a landmark event aimed at bridging the digital divide, the first ever Digital Literacy Summit and Award Ceremony held on Saturday in Osogbo and brought together industry leaders, policymakers, and youth corps members to advocate for widespread tech literacy. With the theme Empowering Global Citizens, the summit emphasized the role of digital skills in unlocking opportunities and fostering national development. Toby Sanusi has more on this.
The summit, organized by the National Youth Service Corps, Osun State chapter, in partnership with Global Tech Advocate, featured keynote addresses and panel discussions on leveraging technology for personal and professional growth. NYC Osun State Coordinator Agbo Hobim sets the tone by urging Nigerian youth to embrace digital literacy as a tool for self-reliance.
This program that in the comments will go a long way in ensuring that the young ones in the rural areas and also in the urban areas see the importance of being, computer literate, so that will help us in ensuring that the federal government accomplishes the objective. All what we have learned from the NYC, the values, put it into practice. Be disciplined, be hard work, be humble, be honest, and whatever you do, put God first.
Delivering his address virtually, Dr. Ahmed Tambuwa, who is the Acting Director of Digital Literacy of National Information Technology Development Agency, NITSDA, urged the youth corps members to maximize their smartphones.
For those of you that train people to be able to, just connect to the digital world, to be able to use their phones to, open a bank account, to do some of those transactions that they had to do physically previously. So this is also a significant contribution that you may not know how much you are doing until one day, when you sit back and look at your record, and then you see that you have really contributed. What you are getting out of this in terms of experience, in terms of your own knowledge, in terms of soft skills, these are skills that you cannot gain without being on a program like this.
A high-powered panel then followed to explore essential skills for the digital age, where the panelists spoke extensively on digital literacy.
It is your course of study that determines the type of skills that you need. Not even your course of studies, where and what you want your future to look alike. Upload your CV in ChatGPT. I call it skill gap analysis. You now ask ChatGPT to analyze your CV for you. Now tell ChatGPT to analyze your skill gap analysis from this CV to tell you all skills that are there to fit in for this job and the skills that are
actually come and say, is there money in design? I'll tell them no. They'll ask me, and how are you doing it? I'll tell them it's not because if I'm making money and you think I'm making money in design, it's not because I'm using design tools. It's because I have an understanding and a mindset that shapes or that brings solutions to certain problems.
Similarly, some other panelists like Lukman Adeoti and Tolu Obatunde stressed the need for critical thinking and understanding digital communication tools like artificial intelligence, AI, Google, among others, to stay relevant in society.
One skill that I think anybody can actually start building up, we all have it innate, is actually critical thinking skills. So once you have and you have solidified your critical thinking skills, it will actually now guide you to now do what they call SWOT analysis of some digital skills or tech skills you can actually adopt.
You don't necessarily have to be the one coding AI or you want to be a key player in the AI space, but you must know how to use AI. Okay, so it's a plus. Start with ChatGPT. If you don't know, you can use your Google. Go to YouTube. How do you prompt AI? It's magic.
Speaking after the summit, Samson Olatunde and Temitope Olalere say they are now more challenged and focused as youth corps members following what they described as enlightening sessions from the panelists.
I never knew that AI could do such thing, and he said you can upload your CV on the AI and tell AI to analyze the skill gap. Doing that, you will be able to know the skills that you're here to.
My take home is my major take home, I would say, is about critical thinking, having to think beyond the box.
With hundreds of youth corps members as participants, the summit marked a pivotal step in Nigeria's push for a tech-savvy workforce. Toby Sanusi, Western Spring Television News.
Just 2 days ago, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboye Itola, declared that he would not be contesting the 2026 governorship election in Osun State. This announcement, which comes about a week after Governor Ademola Adeleke made a U-turn on his proposed defection to the All Progressives Congress, adds another dimension to the political situation in the state. It will be recalled that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had fixed the next governorship election in Osun State for Saturday, August 8, 2026. But I joined live on the news at 7 by pharmacist Mustiuddin Adeklekun, who is the former House of Representatives candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, for Ede South, Ede North, Egbedore, Ejigbo Federal Constituency in Osun State. Thank you for joining us, sir. Right, to start with, you are a member of the NNPP. but it appears that the parties are putting together strategies ahead of the Osun State 2026 governorship election at the PDP and PDP APC and possibly the ADC. There are discussions within your party for adequate participation?
Thank you so much for having me this evening. As we speak, there are discussions between our party and the leader of the All Progressive Congress, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But talking about Osun State gubernatorial election come 2026, our party is here to decide on who bear the flag of the party to contest for election in 2026. We are here to arrive at a candidate. We are here to have a candidate who will bear the flag of the party.
Okay, away from that, recently former Governor Adegboyega Oyetola declared that he would not be contesting the 2026 governorship election. How do you see such a decision?
Well, because I'm a member of the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, I don't usually delve into the affairs of other parties, both PDP and APC. But as an interesting party in Osun State, one will wonder what has Governor Oyetola left in the government house in Osun State that he want to go back in the first instance. So I would say for his party, it is a good decision because Oyetola cannot win any election in Osun State. And that is just to say the fact. The fact that he is a cousin to the president doesn't just put him in the government house in Osun State because of what he did during his 4-year tenure in Osun State. So I think if I'm going to just talk about APC, I think it's a good thing for them and they should get their ass together to look up for a candidate, which of course should come from Osun West. Because if you are going to think of winning Governor Adeleke, you would not be giving Osun West people the chance to complete their 8-year term. So whatever any party is going to do in Osun for now, for 2026 election, the candidate will have to come from Osun West. By and large, I think Oyetola's decision is very good for their party, but I am not going to be the one to advise them on what they will do. I am still a member of New Nigerian People's Party. I will hope, by any chance, that we can get into the government house in Osun come 2026.
Right, there's this sentiment about Osun West. Is it just about that particular region or is it about the state in general?
Well, I would say the interest of the particular region is paramount at this moment. You know, the general discussion in Nigeria is about presidency being in the north for 8 years and coming back to the south for 8 years. This is an unwritten agreement, but that's an agreement that has brought peace. So if you go back to Osun, the last time we had governorship was during the tenure of late Adeleke Senior, which was just 18 or 22 months, and we don't have it now. Osun Central has been there for 4 + 7 + 4. That is close to 15 years. Then Osun East, Ife-Ijesha has been there for 8 years during Arebishola's tenure. So if we are looking at democracy that started, Fourth Republic that started in 1999, it is fair to allow Osun West Central District to have their tenure for complete 8 years. Moving that to another zone will be amount to injustice, and that is unfair.
All right, let's talk about defections now. There have been defections here and there, most especially from the PDP to the APC. Do you anticipate further significant realignment among key political figures before the 2026 election?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. You know, if you go back to history, majority of the gladiators in APC now were former members of the People's Democratic Party. They decame to APC because they couldn't get what they want in the PDP. Now, come 2026, not all of them will get their party's ticket. So definitely, there will still be a lot of defections. Only one man among the 5 or 6 gladiators that we have in APC now will claim the ticket. Where do you want others to go? Of course, my party, NNPP. That's why we are here to decide on what we're doing. We want to see the gale of defections, what will be our gains from people that will be defecting from both senior parties into our party. It's very, very clear that Nigeria needs new dimension and, of course, new direction, which we in the NNPP are capable of giving. If you talk about the defection to ADC at the national level, I personally do not see any good coming from out of that. What do you think? What good do you think Arabella can do again? Amici, Atiku, what have they not done? For this number of years that we have had our democracies, these are the gladiators. 24 years, they are now grouping together in another party. Yes, they have names, but they don't have background. They cannot win any election in any part of Nigeria. I'll tell you what, if El-Rufai is in ADC and the son is still in APC, if David Mark is the chairman of the ADC and the daughter is still in APC, who is fooling who? These are the things that we have to look at. These are people who, for some time, they are not in power. They are angry because they didn't get what they want, and they want to go back into power. I don't see them going any mile. I see NNPP coming in front of ADC in the next presidential election.
All right, let's go back. You were formerly in the APC. Looking at APC generally, are there differences? Have you seen any difference from when you were there and now where it is? You are in the NNPP now.
Yeah, on a more serious note, there has not been any difference in the APC. I have got a lot of invite from APC, come back and join us. The question I ask them is, has anything changed? If nothing has changed, then why will I come back to you? And the problem with APC is this. There is saying in the political circle that somebody is not loyal, somebody wouldn't come back and report to you. I ask one question. If you have not sent me on an errand, how are you sure that I am not going to come back and deliver to you? And that is APC for you. People thinking that because he doesn't come and sleep in our house in the morning, he's not with us during the midnight, then he's not trustworthy. We cannot depend on him. We cannot deliver. Whereas I believe so much, just like what we see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing, that politics is about what individuals can give to the society. And on a more serious note, we have seen that it is not what about the party can deliver, because these parties haven't got a sacrosanct manifesto that they follow. Look at what Buhari did in 8 years. Wrong. Nothing. Absolute nothing. And look at what Tinubu from the same party is doing. That means this is the difference that we see between two different individuals. So I have not seen APC changing for anything. If they have changed, why was it that they refused to accept Governor Adeleke into their party? That means they don't trust him. But you have not sent somebody on an errand. You said you don't trust him. What sort of life is that? So I have not seen anything changing in APC. There may be some kind of fortune smiling on them because of what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing, but it is not because of the leaders of the APC in Osun State. I may bold to say that if we have the same set of leadership in Osun APC, even if they get to government house, it's going to be just for 48 months, not longer than that, because they are not going to change for better. Unless there is a significant change that swept all the leaders away, that's when you think APC can achieve something significant. And that's why people like me is not going back to APC for anything.
And let's look at the performance of the present governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke. How would you assess his administration so far?
Well, that is individualism. On a more serious note, sincerely, I was at home during the Eid, during the Ilaya. I saw a lot of development in Ede in particular. I must commend the governor for that. If he refused to do that, nobody, I don't think anybody will come and do that. I saw the development that's going on in Ife in terms of roads and bridges. I saw the Oshobu one too, which I think this is commendable. And I was told by a friend in Iwo that the Iwo Township road is being dualized. I think that is commendable. But I would still want to commend President Ahmed Tinubu for that. Because if subsidy was not removed, the governor possibly wouldn't get that much money to do what he's doing. And we have to commend the president for allowing that to happen. Sincerely, I think the governor is doing well. When we see something that is good, it is incumbent on us to tell the truth. He is doing well. If somebody is paying people's salary, that's fine. That's the concern of the civil service. If roles are being dualized, that is not bad. That is what will touch the majority of the people. I see that very good. At the same time, I would want him to do better, especially in terms of healthcare delivery. That is still poor. In terms of agriculture, they have not harnessed the potential we have in Osun State for that. I don't imagine the whole state having 31 tractors. That's not enough for such amount of land that we have in Osun State. He's doing well, but there's still room for improvement. He can do better in the next 1 year to see how he can salvage the situation.
There have been controversies as well concerning the recruitment of teachers, about the economy of the state, and you just said he is doing well.
Well, I think we would definitely be deceiving ourselves if any state is talking about their economy without us talking about the economy of Nigeria. I want to agree with you that, well, Lagos State, Kano, or River State, they can all talk about their economy. But no other state in Nigeria can be proud of talking about their economy without necessarily talking about the economy of the federal government of Nigeria, of the whole nation entirely. So I don't know, and I have not seen what any governor can do to improve the economy of Osun State as a state on its own. That is basically a civil service state, unless and until something is done about agriculture. That's when we can see some significant changes. But at the same time, if you want to measure the economy of a state, you measure the economy of the federation, not a state like Osun State. Coming to recruitment of teachers, it is sad that Governor Demola Adeleke sacked teachers that were recruited by the previous government, and he refused to replace them. That is not good enough. That's bad. But, well, if you score 60% or 52%, that is still a pass mark. That's why I said he's doing well. There are areas that needed improvement, like the one that you just mentioned. I personally mentioned the area of healthcare and agriculture. Now you have added the area of education. I think something needed to be done. There's no point children going to school where teachers are not there to tell them what to do, to teach them anything. What sort of state are we?
Okay, let's go back to the election, forthcoming election. What role do you think external factors such as national politics, economic conditions, or the so-called federal might actually play in shaping the election result?
Interesting. Thank you so much for this question. What is going to play out in 2026 election is simply federal might, whether we like it or yes. Rewind back to 2022, and let me base my premise on this. If, despite the popularity of Governor Demola Adeleke, he won by a little over 25,000 votes, that is not a big margin. That is not a wide margin. And we all understood the fact that it was Aregbesola people and through the federal might who helped him win that election. Now, if APC has the advantage of having their own, one of their own, as the president now, there's no doubt that the federal might is going to play in, and that's what we are seeing now. If, and I keep saying it, if Governor Demola Adeleke think he's popular and he can win an election on his own, why making attempts to join APC? That means he is afraid of what the federal might can do, and that's exactly what they did 3 years ago. And they have a fear that, well, what goes around is coming around. And no doubt about the fact that federal might is going to be what is going to win election for people in Osun State. Imagine a party that is not in power rejecting governor that is in power that could win election for them. That means they have something in their sleeves. They think they can do it on their own because they rely on the federal government getting that one done for you. Everybody knows one fact, that Jonathan is not Buhari and Buhari is not Tinubu. Tinubu is a pure career politician, and anything can happen.
All right, lastly, recently, former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwakwanso claimed that President Bola Tinubu was executing lopsided infrastructure development to the disadvantage of the northern part of Nigeria. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, certainly that is politics. And I'll tell you this. 24 hours after Senator Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, my party leader, went to see the president, in which what they discussed was not disclosed to the public. 24 hours after that, he got to Kano and criticized the same government. Now, I'll tell you this, and this is what people in the city doesn't know. Kwankwaso has to help Tinubu to advertise his government. Now, it is now all, the onus is now on the media people of Tinubu to now go into Kano, go into Kaduna, go into the northern part of Nigeria to tell the people this is what we have done. So what is going to happen is this. Kwankwaso has helped APC a lot. Action and reactions are equal and opposite. I have told you that you have not done anything. The only defense you have is to do what? Is to showcase what you have done. So literally, Kwankwaso hasn't done anything. He hasn't done any damage for this government. What he has done is just to tell the APC media people that go into the northern part of the country and showcase what you have done, because they have not done that in the past. What they are showcasing was just Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, this East-West Railway, everything in the south. They have not showcased anything they've done in the northern part of Nigeria. So what Kwankwaso said is just a wake-up call. And now the government, what they must do is just showcase what they have there. I think they should pay Kwankwaso for doing that. And that will come to me as well as a member of his party.
All right, we have been speaking with pharmacist Musliuddin Adekilekun, the former House of Representatives candidate of a new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, for Edo South, Edo North, Egbedore, Ejigbo Federal Constituency in Osun State. Thank you for your insightful contribution.
All right, thank you so much. Good evening.
Thank you. Elsewhere, no fewer than 6 students of the Nigerian Law School have been abducted by suspected gunmen while traveling from Onitsha, Anambra State, to Yola, Adamawa State. It was gathered that the incident occurred in the late hours of yesterday as the students were on their way to resume academic activities at the Yola campus of the Nigerian Law School, scheduled to reopen tomorrow following their court extensive break. Reports suggest that the abduction took place along the route between Wukari in Taraba State and a part of Benue State. Spokesperson for the Adamawa State Police Command, Yahaya Sulaiman, confirmed that the command was aware of the abduction, but clarified that the incident did not occur within Adamawa's jurisdiction. He also assured that both Adamawa and Benue State Police Commands were working closely to secure the safe return of the student. In the meantime, the Nigeria Police Force has neutralized the 3 bandits and recovered 10 AK-47 rifles in a string of coordinated operations across 5 states. According to a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the successful operation were carried out by operatives of the Force Intelligence Department Intelligence Response Team in July. The operations, which spanned across Taraba, Plateau, Adamawa, Nasarawa, and Niger states, were described as intelligence-led and tactically coordinated, which led to several gunfire exchanges with armed criminal elements. The recovered weapons are believed to have been used in a range of criminal activities, including kidnappings, armed robberies, gun running, and cattle rustling. Staying with security, troops of a joint task force on Operation Fansanyama have eliminated 3 notorious terrorist kingpins in Sabon Benin local government area of Sokoto State. The operation, which took place on Friday, was a carefully executed ambush between Malamawa and Mazau villages in the Samaye Mailale district. According to military authorities, the terrorists, identified as Kachala Nagoma Gurumu and Aliyar Daribiyar, were intercepted while attempting to extort ransom and levies from locals in the area. 3 AK-47 rifles with magazines and a motorcycle were recovered from the scene during the operation. In Jigawa State, the police command has arrested 2 suspected arms traffickers and recovered 2 locally fabricated firearms. A statement by the State Police Public Relations Officer, Lawan Shisu, said one Abdul Samad Aruna, a 30-year-old resident of Dansure village, was intercepted while attempting to traffic an illicit firearm to one individual in Benue State He added that a thorough search led to the recovery of one locally made revolver rifle, which had been concealed inside the sack. Mr. Shisu further disclosed that in a follow-up operation, another suspect, Awal Yusuf, aged 24, from Kofar Wambai in Kano State, was arrested on July 20, 2025. Moving on, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says its operatives have intercepted cannabis consignment packaged in moi sachets in Lagos. The NDLEA said it arrested one Chidi Agbafo with the consignment on a commercial bus along the Ekpeaja Expressway on Wednesday. In a statement, NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said the suspect was taking a consignment of 21.7 kilograms of Colorado, a synthetic strain of cannabis, and 3.8 liters of codeine-based syrup to Warri and Ogara Delta State. In another development, the NDLEA arrested a Chinese businessman, Lang Tayu, at the arrival hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, Lagos, on July 25. Mr. Babafemi said the suspect, who arrived in Nigeria from Bangkok via Dubai, UAE, was nabbed with 2 suitcases filled with 50 parcels of loud, a potent strain of cannabis weighing 26.10 kilograms. The Amnesty International has codenamed the arrest of social media influencer Gali Ismail. The TikToker was arrested over a video on the health of President Bola Tinubu. According to Amnesty International, the arrest by the Department of State Security, DSS, is a clear demonstration of abuse of power and shows utter incompetence and desperation to gag young Nigerians to restrict their use of social media, to examine society, and to ask critical questions. The international body called on authorities to immediately and unconditionally release Ismail Gali and drop bizarre attempts to put him through a sham trial that will be based on bogus charges. It urged Nigerian authorities to respect, protect, promote, and fulfill the right of everyone to freedom of expression. You are watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come, medical doctors in Lagos State declare 3-day warning strike to protest alleged illegal salary deduction. We'll bring you more on this when we return.